Can't believe we weren't recording. Okay. Welcome back to another episode of Simplyrobotix, the podcast. I'm your host, Monique, and I'm joined by my friend Jaren again this week, or this episode, as I have been doing, reviewing the Marvel Disney series called What If. And in this episode, it is titled, What If Doctor Strange Lost His Heart Instead of His Hands? The episode starts off the same way it's always been, but we get like the Watcher from the jump, and he's saying that we have watched how one moment, one choice can ripple across space and time, giving birth to new stories, heroes, whole universes. But what if it's the wrong choice? What if the best of intentions has very strange consequences? And as he says strange, we actually see Doctor Strange come on the screen, and he's like, I think he comes out of a car or whatever, and he's getting Christine, and they're going away to dinner. And as they're driving, there's a truck that they approach in front of them. It's going really slow, so he tries to like go around it. There's an oncoming car. They're able to get out of that way, and they're cool until they get rear-ended, go off the side of the road, and Christine dies. This grief basically made Strange go off into the world to, like, I don't know, find some sort of like solution or resolution, and eventually he gets into the mystic arts. And to be truthful with y'all, we actually half recorded all of this, and I fumbled and realized that we weren't recording in every capacity that we're supposed to do. So we're doing our best to still bring the same energy and stuff like that. So I'm trying to make sure I remember things that we said the first time, but also this is just what's happening. Yeah. So when they, something that you pointed out the first time we said this was that Strange has a faster acceleration into the mystic arts because he's not struggling with having to heal like his hands, basically.
Yeah,
that
because
journey.
His hands was trembling a lot and he couldn't focus them. Also, one of the decisions that set him on this trajectory is totally different. It's heartache from losing Christine, because they pretty much mirror the accident. The accident is actually shot for shot from the movie, except the decision that changed everything was, in the movie, Christine was like a colleague that he flirted heavily with. In this, they're actually lovers, and she's accompanying him to this like celebration dinner, and that didn't happen in the movie. In the movie, when he had that accident, he was by himself. In this show, in this universe, he's with her, and she pretty much takes the brunt of the accident, and she ends up the one losing her life. Like, he pretty much walks away fine.
Right. So he becomes a Supreme that could not let go of the past. And as all this is happening, we're hearing the narration of the Watcher. And this is essentially the most we've ever heard a Watcher, even up to this point after a couple minutes, that we've heard him in, like, compared to any other episode. So they continue kind of like fast forward, and Strange is like in their home or whatever, and he's sitting looking out that match. Thank you. The Sanctum. He's in there looking out like the window, and Wong comes over, and Wong's like, like, hey, what are you doing? And he like flips his hand to hide what's happening. And Wong still is able to see that he's holding like the time Infinity Stone type of thing, gadget. And Wong is like, you know what? I'm going to go do something, and you should join me before you do something crazy. And Strange decides to do the something crazy, which is to go back in time to make a different decision with the intention of like saving Christine. So what we see is that he decides not to pass the truck. However, they still get rear-ended, still end up going off the road. She still ends up dying. So he travels back again and again and again, and is doing things differently.
He's going through the denial stage of grief, and it's really sad to watch.
It is. And he's like taking a different route. They end up at the event, and she has like some sort of heart attack or something's going on. They're driving and their tire pops.
They go out for pizza instead, and that was the most frustrating one, with just some random guy walks in and shoots her for no reason.
Yes. He stands her up, and then she dies in like a fire in her apartment. She's the only one too that dies in that apartment building fire. And he even lets her drive. and she still dies, you know? So at this point, like, you know, he's going through it, and the Ancient One comes down from the spirit world or just some hole in the sky, a projection, who knows? And she's explaining that Christine's death is an absolute point in
Oh,
time.
she says, sorry. She says the whole way that she's able to do that is because him restarting time over and over and over basically like ripped the fabric of their reality and allowed her to project herself from the time that she was actually alive to the time that he was in right then.
Oh,
So
wow.
she's like a projection of her consciousness. It's not actually her. Because she even
Right.
says like she's fully aware that she's dead.
Yeah, she does. She does acknowledge that. So yeah, she explains that this is Christine's death is an absolute point in time, and without her death, that Strange wouldn't have defeated Dormammu, and he would not become the Sorcerer Supreme or Supreme Sorcerer Supreme. And she said that, you know, if Strange continues on this path to try and you know, change the outcome or change any events of the night, that it's going to just lead to a lot of darkness and the end of reality. And Strange is kind of like, okay, sure, whatever. You told me anything's possible. I'm not really trying to hear that.
But
And
it's his ego because he feels like it's the same way he was in the movies. He feels like he can fix everything. He's like, I'll
yes,
do what I want to do now and then just go back and fix it later. And he's gonna learn you can't fix everything.
right. And the Ancient One is like, well, don't make me hurt you. And they have this kind of like draw, and they shoot light things and like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and there's this light power explosion, and it cuts to like Strange waking up in a jungle.